It's nice meeting you. My name is Frederick Bruce, and this is my project on Kazuo Ono and the Butoh. Here we have a video of Kazuo performing an eerie dance called the Dead Sea. As you can see, Kazuo is completely captivated and is uh, in tune with his artistic side here. Is he uses his body and his hand gestures to create uh, a sort of dramatic effect to keep the audience more engaged. This is Kazuo a little later in his career as well. So he's much attuned to performing in front of an audience at this point. As you can see, how comfortable he is right now. Often with other performances, you can hear a narrator that's singing in the background, along with the instruments that usually go with these performances. You can kind of see by its morbid gestures on why this is titled The Dead Sea. And moving on to the next slide is the formal introduction. Now, this image captures the haunting beauty of the Butoh, and this is Ono cloaked in black and gold, face painted in a stark white, and his eyes are rimmed with a blue and black shadow. And at this point, Ono's frail body became a vessel of transcendence, demonstrating that Butoh was not about physical strength, but spiritual intensity. And this was from the Baird and Candelario, the Rutledge companion to the Butoh performance in 2018. Moving on to the next slide. In post-war Japan, Kazuo helped forge a radical new form of theater, the Butoh. Unlike the kabuki or no, which relied on stylized gestures and elaborate sets, the Butoh stripped performances down to a raw emotional state, spiritual intensity. Ono's work challenged audiences to confront suffering, memory, and transcendence. And this was per Richard Schechner in 1929. He observed this in regards to Kono Ono. And moving on to the next slide, we see Kazuo in his performance in the titled show Flowers. Here we show him in full attire with all the headgear and the flower in his hand, posing with the flower. And per Gillespie in 2011, he states about Kazuo, Kazuo Ono's art compels us to reconsider what performance truly means. His late life dances remind us that artistry is not defined by youthful strength, but by spiritual depth. And Ono's performances in his final years reminded audience that art is not bound by age, but by spirit. And in his early life and professional career, um, he was born in Hakone, Japan on October 27th, 1906. His early encounters with Western dance shaped his foundations of his career, and he would later revolutionize the Japanese theater through Butoh. In 1929, he saw the Spanish dancer La Argentina, who made a lasting impression on him. And this tribute marked a defining moment in Ono's career. By honoring La Argentina decades after its seeing her first perform, he demonstrated how memory and influence can be transformed into groundbreaking art. La Argentina not only established Ono internationally as a master of Butoh, but also revealed the essence of his philosophy: dance as a spiritual encounter rather than mere spectacle. Through this work, he bridged his early inspirations with the radical innovations of Butoh, showing audiences that performance could embody remembrance, transformation, and profound human truth. To understand Kazuo Ono's impact, we turn to scholarly voices. Richard Schechner's documents Ono's formative encounter with La Argentina and his training with pioneers of modern dance. Uh, Bruce Baird and Rosemary Candelario emphasize how Ono's frail body became a vessel of transcendence, redefining performance as spiritual intensity. And as Gillespie reflects, Ono's late life performances reminded audiences that art is not bound by age, but by spirit. Together, these sources provide the foundation for analyzing Ono's revolutionary role in Japanese theater and Butoh. Here we see Ono performing with his son, who was also a performer. And I quote Gillespie: Ono's performance in his final years reminded audience that art is not bound by age, but by spirit, as we just quoted. Um, and we see here him in his older age again. He performed a lot in his later years, and that often captivated his audience and brought about a pretty appreciation to his work, that he was able to work so long at that age doing the things that he did. And mentorship and collaboration. We see here, I used a picture of his son, Yoshido, and we see here he has his own dance studio where he's given instruction to fellow dancers. I use this to show how his art form lived beyond him, and it was able to transcend time and spread his joy to other people. And life and legacy, we see here more of his influence being spread. This is the Senkai Juko. It is a troupe that performs modern day Butoh, and this is how Ono makes a lasting impression with his art. We see troupes that are dedicated to his uh, specific performance of Butoh, and that's how he was able to transcend and um, use his legacy and performance as a way to move forward into time. And here are some interesting facts about Kazuo. He actually lived to be up to 103 years of age, and he was a global icon of the avant-garde performances. And he was actually a talented athlete when he was younger. He was very reputable in track and field. And another interesting fact is he remained married to one woman his whole life, Chi Nakagawa, until she passed in 1997. And to wrap it up, early inspirations, he was deeply moved by the La Argentina, as we mentioned earlier in the slides. That really shaped his artistry to turn him into what he became. And you can obviously see by the first example in the Dead Sea, his stage presence was second to none, completely captivating the audience and scaring me absolutely to death almost with that performance. And you can see how his frail body um, in his 90s, and he still would manage to proceed and continue to do the dance that he loved even through old age. So that signifies, um, his persistence and his desire to his performances and his art. And he completely revolutionized Japanese theater. Ono and Hijikata created Butoh, and they challenged conventions and they opened up and created new artistic paths for new performers. And his legacy lives through Yoshido, which is his son. And again, he continues to teach in his studios, the importance of traditional Japanese dance. So that will ensure uh, for future generations to pick up on, these traditional dances. And we can see his global impact. Butoh was spread worldwide. It influenced artists and audience all through across Europe, America, and Asia. Thank you. One more.